Namaste students, welcome back to your history class. We were studying about the prehistoric society. In the last class we studied about the prehistoric, the protohistoric and the historic period. And we also studied about the origin of the human beings and the development. There are three different stages in prehistoric period: Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. So today we will study about the Paleolithic Age. Children, the Earth's beginning can be traced about 4.5 billion years, but human evolution only counts for a tiny speck of its history. The prehistoric period, or when there was human life before records documented human activity, roughly dates from 2.5 million years ago to 1200 BC. It is generally categorized in three archaeological periods: the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. From the invention of tools made for hunting to advance in food production and agriculture to early examples of art and religion, this enormous time span ending roughly 3200 years ago, dates vary upon the region, was a period of a great transformation. Now let us study about the Stone Age. So this Stone Age is being divided into three periods: Paleolithic or Old Stone Age, Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age, Neolithic or New Stone Age. This era is marked to the use of tools of our early human ancestors, which evolved around 300,000 BC. You can see here the weapons what they used, and the eventual transformation from a culture of hunting and gathering of farming and food production. During this era, early human beings shared the planet with a number of non existing hominian relatives, including the Neanderthals and the Denisovans. In the Paleolithic period, roughly we can tell from 2.5 million years ago to 10,000 BC, early human beings who lived in the caves or simple huts or teepees and were hunters and gatherers. They used the basic stone and bone tools as well as crude stone axes for hunting birds and wild animals. They cooked their prey, including the woolly mammoths, deer, and bison, using controlled fire. They also fished and collected the berries and fruits and nuts. The ancient period humans in the Paleolithic period were also the first to leave behind the art. They used the combination of minerals, ochres, burnt bone metal, and charcoal mixed into water, blood, animal fats, and tree saps to etch humans, animals, and signs. They also carved small figurines from the stones, claves, bones, and antlers. The end of this period marked the end of the last ice age, which resulted in the extinction of many large mammals and rising sea levels and climate change that eventually caused man to migrate. So we can see that these people were nomads. So what did we learn? These people, human beings of this period, they lived upon fruits, edible plants and tubers. Though they were nomadic means what? The people who wandered from one place to the another place, and they took where did they take the shelter? In the clay, in the caves. And also they used a variety of simple tools like scrapers, knives, cleavers, and the microliths. These were the stones which were they used, and they used large leaves and bark of the trees as clothes, and they were the fruits, edible plants were not available for all the seasons. So, in the last Paleolithic age, they learnt hunting and fishing for food, and they learned to control the fire. And the important sites of this are the Belan Valley in Uttar Pradesh, Hunsagi and Baichalbal in Karnataka. You can see in this map. So, the round color where we had the lower Patholic sites in our India, and Karnool and Amaravati, Karnool and Karnool and Amaravati in Andhra Pradesh. Then in Tamil Nadu, we have the Atirampakam, where the people lived. So, the period between 5 lakh years to 12,000 years ago is recognized as the Paleolithic Age. So, here we can see, children, how the stone age of humans made access. The process started with a large piece of rock. Secondly, the human roughly shaped the rock with a stone manner. You can see here how they made this one. Then they, using a hammer made of wood, stone or antler, they sharpened the edge. You can see here. They trimmed the edge by prying off tiny flakes with the pointed stick, then finishing the hand axe. So, this was the and this is the side view. So, these like this, the tools were made by the people or during this period. Now we will move on to the Mesolithic Age. Mesolithic Age. So during the Mesolithic period, it is about 10,000 BC to 8,000 BC. The human used small stone tools. What did they use? They used the small stone tools, and now also polished and some and polished and sometimes crafted with points and attached to the antlers, bone or wood to serve as spear and arrows. So you can see it, the spears and arrows. They often lived nomadically in camps near river, you can see here, near river and other water bodies of water. Agriculture was introduced during this time, which led to more permanent settlement in the villages. And this period from the between the Paleolithic and Neolithic age, we are having the Mesolithic age. So, we can also see that this period is also called as the Microlithic age. So, this is the second period in the human history based on the increase of technology of microlith. The new technology allowed for an increase in the leather work and basketry. Tools were combined with other tools and refined for hunting. All this new technology allowed for the domestication of plants and animals. And they also found a way to stop their hunger by settling down in one of the places by hunting and rearing the offsprings that were found during the hunting. So, these animals were secured as the source of food for them. They slowly, this also slowly led to the animal husbandry, and the Mesolithic human beings roamed from in search of food for themselves and their animals. Wherever they stayed, they used to draw the pictures on the rocks that were used as shelters. Animals' hide was used as their dress. They knew fire and the uses of it. We can find the people see these were the different types of Mesolithic age tools. The bones and ivory was used, blade, core, knives, chisels, triangle, burin, dagger, points. All these were the different tools which was used during this period. So the Mesolithic sites where we can find is the they knew we can find is Bimba Betaka and Adam Nagar in Madhya Pradesh, and also the Brahmagiri and the Kanganahalli in of Karnataka, Bagur and Ganeshwar in Rajasthan, and Biranbanpur of West Bengal, Vanapasari of Andhra Pradesh, Sarai, Nahar, Rai and Mahad of Uttar Pradesh were the important places of the Mesolithic age. So now we will move on to the Neolithic period. Neolithic age. So finally, during the Neolithic period, this is roughly from 8000 to 3000 BC, ancient human beings switched from hunter-gatherer mode of hunter or gatherer mode to agriculture and food production. You can see here. They produced the food, they domesticated the animals and cultivated the cereal grains. They used polish hand axes, adze for plowing and tilling the land, and started to settle in the plains. Advancement were made on not only in tools but also in farming, home construction and art, including pottery, sieving and also the weaving. All this was done during this time. You can see here in this picture. So they domesticated the animals. Since the Mesolithic human beings were into animal husbandry, they faced shortage of food for themselves and for the animals. So these people started producing their own food crops during the Neolithic age. And also they started cultivating the crops on the oil soil on the banks of the river. Agriculture provided food not only for them but also fodder for the animals. This made them to live in a settled life, and they left wandering from one place to the another. So agriculture was the first step in the direction of civilization and culture. The first evidence of agriculture in Indian subcontinent is found in Mehergarh of present Pakistan. So the people who here constructed the houses. You can see it. They constructed the houses and of the sun dried bricks for living, and the people residing in Brozome of Kashmir dug the grains produced. They manufactured handmade pottery. Later on, the introduction of wheel, the manufacture of different types of varieties of pots became easy. The stone tools were sharpened and used, and Sangana Kallu of Bellari was one of the center of such stone tools. They were using the hand axe and the other tools made out of bone. The evidences of the Neolithic age are found in the places like Bannahalli, Brahmagiri, Budihal, Hallur, Pikilihala, T. Narsipura, Uttunoru of Karnataka, and Chirand of Bihar. So this period can go to the 9,000 to 5,000 years ago now. So now children, we can see it, all this Bruzum, Mehegar, Charand, Kodival, Halur, Payamapalli, Chirand, Daoji, Handing, all these are the Neolithic period. So next we will move on to these are all the Neolithic sites which are there in Karnataka, where what I told you now. T. Narsipura, Hemmegi, Brahmagiri, Kupgalkallu, Sangha, Maski, all these are the places where we can find the Neolithic sites. Okay, children. Now, what were the changes caused by the Neolithic period, revolution? So, there was an increase in the reliable food supplies. There was a rapid increase of the population, and also there was a job specialization like hunting, agriculture, carpenter, making the tools. All these came into existence, and also the priests, traders and builders, widening of gender differences between male and the female, and also the development of distinction between the settled people and the nomads. So what was the Neolithic culture? So this can be characterized by the stone tools were shaped in polishing or grinding, dependence on the domesticated plants or animals, settlement in the permanent villages, and the appearance of such crafts as pottery and weaving. This is the final stage of cultural evolution or technological development among the prehistoric humans. So, shelter, when we move on to the Paleolithic and the Neolithic, there were no permanent homes, they had permanent homes. Because people hunted and gathered, they had to move where the food was, therefore, the homes were temporary. Here, homes were usually made from timber, wallet, and daub or mud brick. You can see here. So, this is the difference between the shelter of the Neolithic and the Paleolithic age. Then we are having also the tripartite. The entrance was facing towards the east. Central part of being the living room, and the third part containing the deep storage. Then we are having the bipartite. The bipartite is the entrance, living room combined with the storage. Then the single bay houses having living rooms only. So these were the types of houses which was built during this period, children. So the evolution of tombs in the Neolithic period, the dolmens are two or more stones supported at the large one at the top, you can see here, and it is also called as the chromolis, that is the Bryonic origin. Settlements led to the building of monumental stone architecture. There were many collective tombs, and also there were mainly collective tombs, passage graves, and also the gallery graves were constructed during this period. So in the new stone age is most frequently used in connection. You can see here the agriculture what I told, which is the time when the cereal cultivation and animal domestication was introduced. Agriculture developed at different types in different regions of the world. So there is no specific single date for the beginning of the Neolithic period, children. It differs. So the dry stone houses, the houses how they built was stone built houses with 3 meters thick cavity walls. Inner outer caves were made of dry stones, and the interiors were covered with the domestic refuse. Rectangular, plain, circular corner was there, and thatched roof with a smoke hole at the top positioned over the central hearth. So in the next class, children, we will move on to the metal age, and we'll also study about the copper and the bronze stone age in the next class. Thank you, children.